Good morning YouTube, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be working with some orchids, and I have got in front of me one of my favorite orchids, the Oncidium Sharry baby. It is one of my most favorite of all orchids. I love the scent. It is one of those orchids that smells sweet like chocolate. And this one I found just on the shelf down there. The spike was kind of coming out towards the window and I didn't really see it until it was too late. So it didn't get staked, but I kind of like the natural look to it anyways. It's just starting to come out and bloom, so that's wonderful. It's going to come to the foreground of the plants and be sort of out hanging out so I can smell it every day when I come into the greenhouse. This one is just for show, but what we're going to do today is I have another one. I actually have several Oncidium Sharry babies. I love them that much. This one is just for show, but we're going to repot another Oncidium together today. So I'm going to put this guy up here. Don't know if you can see it there. It's just going to be maybe slightly off camera. Maybe not. Right there. And then today we're going to be working with this guy here. This one here is a nice big Oncidium Sharry baby as well. In a huge pot. Has a few new growths. And probably getting ready to bloom soon. Let me see. I can't see any spikes yet. Oh, yep. There actually is a spike down there in the bulb as well, and there's another bulb just starting to mature. Won't have any spikes yet because it's too new, but anyways, we're going to give this guy a really quick potting before it goes out into spike and before it goes into flower for the year. Beautiful day here in British Columbia, mid-end of April, typical April showers. It'll be sunny for a bit and then it'll rain like crazy here, but even just a few sunny periods per hour is enough to make the greenhouse nice and warm for these plants. I got the door open right now, but when I last looked at the thermometer, it was about 80 Fahrenheit in here. That's getting close to 30. It was like 27 Celsius. And yeah, I turned off the air conditioner, I turned off the fans, I've got the door open, so hopefully we'll be able to work through that together, and it won't be too bright on camera. So let me bring you down and let's repot this guy together. Alright, so have you down. We're going to work on this little table today. I have one of my trusty white trays that I get at the dollar store. We're going to unpot the Oncidium on the white tray. There's the back of the plant. You can see how when it was last planted, it was planted in the middle and all the growths have gone that way. So I'll straighten that up in the pot. Here's the tag from it. It was last repotted just about 2 years ago. So 2 years come July. So it's due for a repot anyways. So why don't we get started? But I forgot to tell you at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you now anyways, make sure you always write the date when you repot on your orchids, because otherwise, especially when you have a lot of orchids, you can't always remember when the last time you repotted them were, and this is really handy, it really helps. So anyways, let's get started here and see what this guy looks like. So there are a bunch of Oncidium roots. Of course, all your healthiest roots are going to be on this side of the pot. And the older roots, they only last so long. They're going to be on this side of the pot. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these were rotten, but as long as the newer growth is good, we're good to go. So this was potted in a mixture of, it looks like fine fir bark and perlite. We're going to do a similar mixture. I see a bit of sphagnum moss in there. My mixtures change from year to year depending on what I'm sort of into there and trying. I'm always trying new things till I find the perfect media, but you can see how it's lovely and just sort of falls apart in your hand. So that is our goal, and we're going to try to make the next media just like that. Lots of good and healthy roots. A few roots back on this side that are just sort of coming off, so I'm assuming they're not so healthy, but lots of good roots anyways. I'm going to work right into the core and remove some of the old gunky roots there, trim it right up. So you can tell nice healthy roots because they have a nice whiteness to them. Old roots that are dead are usually papery, thin, hollow, really can break apart easily in your hands. The white roots here that are nice and healthy, not going to be so easy to break apart. So I'm just going to continue to gently knead away the material here, trying not to break any roots that, if I can help it. The new generation of pseudobulbs is going to be what holds the newest roots anyways, and that's going to be the main ones we want to protect. So these pseudobulbs are just starting to grow their new roots. Not exactly the right time to repot, I guess, but no time like the present also. And there we go. That gets most of the media out. Now what I'm going to do, since I have the sink, I'm going to use the sink. Let's turn it around, go over the sink, and give this guy a wash out and get all the really old media right out from inside here. The reason we repot in the first place is because the media starts to break down and go sour. It gets very acidic when it's breaking down, and the acidic media will actually rot the roots further. So we want to make sure it's all this acidic media is out of there if we can possibly help it. So let's go to the sink. Okay, so we did a 95-degree turn and we're over at the sink now. And it's great having the water running in here. I have a hot and cold mix, so it's just sort of a nice tepid water, not too warm, not too cold. And I'm just going to rinse some of this media out. Hopefully I can do it without bumping the camera too much. The hose is kind of one of those coil corded ones, and it keeps bumping on the tripod. I'm going to take this one step further. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me still while I'm doing this. We're going to up the jet a little bit here and really give it a good cleaning. You can see the mud just kind of falling into the sink. We want to get rid of all of that if we can possibly help it. Now this is nice because I'm only using water in this sink. It just goes out into my backyard and waters the grass behind me. And we'll get right into the core there. And that really should do it. Gets rid of most of the media out of the roots, and we are good to start over with some fresh media. Alright, we're back on the little table again. We're going to pot this guy up. I'm just going to use the same pot it came out of. I'm definitely not going to upgrade the pot. It definitely doesn't need that. I think if anything, this pot is almost a little bit too big, but it's got several new growths on the front, so I think it will fill in nicely in this pot. And it's proven itself as done good in this pot for the past few years. So the mix I use, I just have it mixed in a 5-gallon bucket. I made a video on my mixes about a month ago, and if you're curious as to the mix details, just what's in it, check out that video. I highly recommend it. As I say, it's about a month old maybe. It just gives sort of a breakdown of everything that you need or could need for Oncidiums and a bunch of other plants, at least the ones that work good for me. So I like to use the mix dry, and I'm going to first off pot it in without any media whatsoever and find the nice sort of sweet spot for it. Hopefully we can still see here, not too sunny. I'm going to try to plant it in the middle of the pot so that the bulbs that are growing are going to grow across the pot here, and it's going to look like that from the back sort of thing. I'm just sort of holding it in place, and fits nicely in there. I sink it down a little bit to start with so I can pull it up after, and I'm just going to start feeding the media into it. Because the media is dry, it's going to go all in between the roots very easily. And we'll get the back side there as well. My mixture, it's basically just some perlite, some fine Douglas fir bark, a bit of medium Douglas fir bark, and a little bit of sphagnum moss for moisture. It works good for me here in the greenhouse because it's so humid anyways. There we go. I just keep working that in. And I'll get some more media. It's a large pot. Okay. Continue to fill that in there. And backfill that in there. I like to tap it down after I'm done. I'll find a hard surface and just sort of gently tap the pot on like some cement or that. Really works everything nicely into place. And then after I've done that, I will take it to the sink and I'll give it a watering, which again is going to work everything nicely in. You wouldn't want to leave it like this for very long because it is dry media. So keep doing that. And that's going to be about how it's going to look to finish. So there is the Oncidium Sharry baby, all potted up. The new growth is facing outwards here. Lots of room in the front for a year or two's worth of growth. Remember, I'm going to find a pencil and mark on the tag there. And then shove that back in and we'll be good to go. But anyways, I think that basically wraps that up. There is how you repot an Oncidium Sharry baby, or really any other Oncidium for that matter. This mix is great for Oncidiums. There's a close-up of the mix there. Nice and airy and light, not much moss, just a touch. Anyways, I hope you liked this video, and if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel. As always, thanks for watching.